Hi, everybody. My name is EJ Quanavens, and thank you for tuning in and checking out my corner of the world. I just wanted to have a small conversation with you regarding, the times that we're in concerning COVID. Currently, I'm driving from Toronto to Montreal, and I just need to occupy my mind, I guess, because it's quite a long ride. But I just wanted to have a conversation about COVID, and not necessarily about the negatives in COVID, because we could be here till we're blue in the face talking about the negatives, but that's not really what I want to focus on. My focus really in this video is to talk about the silver linings that exist within COVID. What are the small little wonderful miracles that are unfolding each day during this time? A lot of people like to use the word difficult times. I like to use the word unique times. Yeah, there are challenges, but if you want to bog yourself down with the negatives, you can. But really, what purpose is that going to serve? I like to talk about the silver linings. There are silver linings in COVID, and for me, I find it's a moment, I think, for all of us, because we're all going through the same thing. We're all experiencing similar issues and isolations and challenges and whatnot. But I think for me, it's really about taking a step back, reflecting, and understanding and appreciating what it is that we do have. Pre-COVID, we've always been busy, going about our business. We've maintained this silo mentality where we don't really engage with one another. We tend to go about our business and ignore the very people that are standing right beside us, for example. But now we are having to be very mindful of the very people beside us, whether it is the need to wear a face covering or whatever. So I just want to say, though, I find it very, very funny, though, when you see a car going by and there's only one person in the car and they're wearing a face mask. I don't know. I don't get that. Are they trying to protect themselves from themselves? I don't know. Face coverings and social distancing and hand washing and all that sort of stuff is very important. Activities that we need to be continuing to do each and every day until we get through this process. But sometimes I think the face coverings are a little bit excessive, in my opinion. For example, if I'm walking on a sidewalk and I'm maintaining my social distancing with somebody or people in the crowds, I think that should be sufficient. If I'm going into an environment that requires me, for example, a store, a grocery store, whatever the case might be, of course a face covering is necessary. And so I think sometimes we just need to moderate, that whole process. For me, it's really about looking back and looking at family, looking at the loved ones around you, looking at the ones who you value, and know that life can really be taken away from you in a blink of an eye. And so COVID is really an opportunity to reevaluate what's important in each and every one of our lives. We can't continue to operate in a silo mentality where you're there, I'm here, I don't need to talk to you. I think we've lost that ability, that art of communication with one another. I think we've lost this ability to truly get to know one another. And so I think COVID is really presenting itself in such a way where we are having these conversations with complete strangers now, which is actually quite nice. I actually like that. I don't walk around with my nose in the air and not engage with people. I'm a very sociable person, and I can see that it could be challenging for some people, but I urge you, take the challenge and have conversations with people in and around your building, your community, when you're out and about, because I guarantee it, at the end of the day, they're experiencing similar frustrations and similar isolation issues, and perhaps some people are actually beginning to feel depressed, and having that social interaction, that one-on-one person and interaction with one another is really, really important. You'd be amazed at how amazing that interaction will have an impact, a positive impact on somebody. So I just wanted to share that with you, and my opinion of it, and when we have the conversation about COVID and the social distancing and how this is presenting challenges within our Indigenous community, especially within powwow season, for example. We are in the middle of powwow season. Powwow season usually kicks off in the springtime, getting into May, more or less, and it runs throughout the entire summer months until we get into the fall months. And there's not one powwow event happening. And I know that as a dancer myself, and the people who attend powwows, the powwow families that I know, are really struggling with this time where we can't even socialize in ceremony and in dance and celebrate life together. It's a really big challenge for that community, for my community, and so this is why we're seeing a lot of social dancing, virtual events happening online, which is a phenomenal, great idea. So hats off to everybody who's coordinating those kinds of events. You're doing a lot of greatness and helping people get through this spiritually and culturally. So thank you for that. And I want to also make a point about, all the artisans and I don't like to use the word crafters, but I'm going to use the word artists, and people who are beaters and leather workers and sewers and quill workers and birchboard maker workers, anything that deals within the culture that is creating and bringing forward our traditional teachings in some medium. I think it's really important that we support one another and we help lift each other, because a lot of the artists as well are struggling with gigs or the inability to have gigs to sell their products. Yes, there are online sales and that's important, but again, that social interaction with one another and engaging and showing the products that people have is really, really important, that we show our support for one another and take care of one another, and to know that, like as I mentioned before, life is really short and things can be taken away from you in the blink of an eye. And so COVID really, for me, is really showing humanity a way of how we're supposed to and originally interact with one another. Enough of this silo mentality. It's time that we start lifting each other and helping one another and having conversations with one another and connecting with one another. It's really, really important that we do that. So I just wanted to share that with you today during my drive from Toronto to Montreal. And I do wish that everybody is safe and do have a wonderful, wonderful day. You gotcha.